The project in Cape Town with the Woodstock School for autistic kids is very interesting because it's showing there even that that allowing these slightly older kids housed and kind of, you know, they're no longer functional at home, so they're housed there. And these kids are responding to cranial work in some very, very interesting ways. One little girl was 11 years old, skinny as a rail. She was an obvious shock type and, you know, a little twig and very protective. But she liked to hang out high up. So she'd be on top of filing cabinets, and all the windows had big bars on them, but she would be climbing up there and trying to get as high as possible. So she could sort of look down on all the sort of activities in the room, whatever was going on. And that's where she lived. She lived up there. And then one day she saw one of the smaller boys receiving some cranial work with a couple of the practitioners. And he was going through what we call birthing somersaults, you know, which is very typical of those kids. They like to get up in the air. It's kind of like it's almost like a game. And it becomes a gymnastic sort of thing. And they sort of turn somersaults. And they have to go down between your legs and up your back and down between your legs and up your back and so on. And this little boy was doing that with our two practitioners. It's a very physio kind of thing. And this little girl was watching this. And then she had never said a word in her life. And then on just the day I was visiting, she shouted out, "Fly! Fly!" was her first word. She's up so high, she'd been wanting to fly for a long time, you know, was my first thought. Eventually, we were able to convince her to just slightly put a little bit of weight on your arm. Just so that she would just play the slightest little trust game with you. Only just slight. Not enough to tip over, but just enough, you know, to give you a little sense of weight. In the following weeks, she got involved in the program and did lots of flying in the air. And her speech has come back 100%. She's now helping with the teaching. She's now 14 years old. She's helping with the teaching. Lovely kid. And she's put on some weight as well. She's starting to get secondary sexual development and so on. And of course with shock, with pineal, with parasympathetic dominance, the kids don't develop sexually either. And she is developing now, so I think she's going to be okay. And going home for her was quite a trial in this period because her parents didn't know her anymore. This was hard for them. They institutionalized her when she was young and had no idea what she was going through. So in cranial work, we see a lot of situations like that and family situations like that when you work with kids and so forth. So.